In today's video, we are going to look at the pocket knife I use for EDC, the Victorinox Explorer. We have a few here that I use, but before that, we are going to see the first version, which my namesake, Juan Manuel Borrero, will show us. So let's head over to Colombia.
Hello friends, good afternoon. Juan Manuel Borrero from Colombia. Today we are here to talk to you about the Explorer. As my namesake or Manuel Sosa might have already mentioned in the history, the Explorer came out in 1973, the year Victorinox introduced the magnifying glass to its tools, with the bezel of that era. This one is exactly from 1973 because we have it with a clip point blade and with a 5-turn corkscrew in its back tools. Only the reamer, not the corkscrew. In others, they will show you the more modern tools. Its small blade, its large blade, the scissors. What makes the Explorer special? It's magnifying with its integrated Phillips screwdriver. Your bottle opener with screwdriver and the wire stripper here that we call the cartridges, and its can opener with small screwdriver. Explorer from 1970.
And now I'm going to show you mine and tell you why it's my EDC and also my girlfriend's, right? Here we have, though, I use the most. This Explorer that we put white scales on, I find the white scales much easier to restore. Obviously, we customize the tweezers and the toothpick, and let's look at the tools. Obviously, the layer of openers with the can opener and screwdriver, and also a wider screwdriver, bottle opener, and wire stripper. Well, one of the reasons I choose the Explorer is that it doesn't make me choose between Phillips or corkscrew. I have both here. And another very important thing, at least in my line of work, is having a magnifying glass that helps me read the fine print, which more than once is very ill-intentioned in contracts. Here we have the scissors. Another tremendously useful tool already with the yellow pivot. The large blade, obviously a blade is always useful, in this case with 3 lines and officier Swiss. On the other side, the small blade, which I should give a little sharpening. It doesn't have a good profile anymore. Down here we added this to the corkscrew. This is for taking out the SIM card and accessory that is quite useful, more than just the SIM card. What I change sometimes are the memory cards. I like to remove the memory cards with sensitive information. We put the pin in. The multi-purpose hook. I rarely use it, And the reamer / punch. So as I was telling you, it doesn't make me choose between a corkscrew or a Phillips. It has both. And that's one of the reasons I choose Sporner. And I'll say it again. The magnifying glass is useful for my work. Let's look at some other customizations. This is a customization in steel and tomback. If We put metal tweezers on it and found a toothpick that fits, but I couldn't adapt the pen. This is a fairly new edition. It also has this magnifying glass that doesn't pop out. What I forgot to mention is that while you can remove the lens from this magnifying glass, putting it back is a struggle, so I won't do it. This one I was telling you about, the steel and tomback customization, is meant to be carried in a sheath because it's quite heavy. We'll see it on the dealer's scale later. Here we have the Playboy Bunny, and over here the Sosa Licudis. I really like taking this one out because I think it's very nice, but these customizations have to appeal to the person getting them done, not everyone. Well, let's go with another, and this one is also very similar. This has the Victorinox B, the same size as the letters too. Obviously, it's an officier. Swiss, and it also has the magnifying glass that doesn't pop out. Why is it different from the others? Because this one does have the pen. It has plus scales. It has plus scales. So if you calculate that you need a pen, besides these scales, they are very easy to restore. Moving on to another. This one has the gray magnifying glass. It's not as old as my namesake's. It's not from the 80s either. It's from the 90s because it has the multi-purpose hook. Obviously, this one won't have a slot for the pin. Let's see that the marking is with the Victorinox B. A little bit larger than the rest of the letters, and the cross doesn't touch the crossbow. For the rest, it's very similar to the others, obviously, with the gray magnifying glass. I used before. Now I usually use the white one or the steel one, as I told you. And this is my girlfriend's. My girlfriend's has, let's see, it won't let me. Let's try here, it's easier. See, cross doesn't touch the crossbow. 4 lines. It's rust fried, just like this one. Well, what I like about this knife is that she bought it herself. She saw it at a good price, bought it, started using it, and customized the whole thing. Tozo. What I like about this knife is this relief engraved shield, very different from all the others. I've tried to trade it 1,000 times. She wouldn't do it. I quite like this one of my girlfriends. Let's move on to the dealer's scale. Let's see how much Marianne's Explorer weighs. Let's start with Marianne's. Oh, never mind. Let's also put the root one on because, after all, 102. 102.9. Let's go with the gray magnifying glass Explorer. 101 grams. Exactly. This one that we did a plus on? 101.6. Over here we have the one I carry every day. 106. And finally, the Playboy. Let's take a look. Explorer. This one is 177 and a half. Let's see the width. How are we doing? Let's see the width. 22. Let's see the plus. 21 feet. The gray magnifier one. 24. Marianne's And finally, the one I use every day, 0.7. And now, let's see an impressive one from Ingo Goldhammer. Hello there. And here I bring you another Damascus piece. In this case, it's the 2013 Explorer. This one had a run of 7,000 units. Its reference is 1.6701.J30. This piece is characterized by having Carl Elsener's signature on the scale. It's a very nice Explorer. This piece is increasing a lot in value. It is one of the first ones, which along with, of course, the 2010, which is the icon, the 2011, which is also highly sought after, 2012 and 2013, make them the pieces, the first pieces. So this one will be going up a lot in value. Like the vast majority, they have their serial number, year, and production run on an inner part, in this case behind the corkscrew. The box is also used to store the certificate. And here it explains to us what type of steel has been used. In this case, 60 HRC stainless steel. And the scales of this piece were made of oak wood. A very beautiful piece, with the particularity of being a piece that has Carl Elsener's signature, which doesn't come out often and only appears on editions that have a certain historical or commemorative value. And in this case, it was the year 2013. We pack everything back up. Here, as you can notice, the box has these supports that later, in latest editions, for the last 4 or 5 years, they changed because actually, the tools with the interior friction end up damaging it. And honestly, it doesn't look very nice after some time. Well, I hope you liked it. Until next time. A beauty, Ingo's knife, this Carl Elsener Damascus one. And now, our namesake Juan Manuel Borrero has something else to show us.
This other one we have here is the Christmas edition. They released in 2017. Very nice white scales with some snowflakes on them. New magnifying glass. For the year, obviously with a multi-purpose hook. And I really like the charm of having the mini white screwdriver matching the scales. 2017 Christmas edition of the Explorer.
Well, the identifier number for the Victorinox Explorer, which I didn't mention at any point, is 1.6703. Now, in the 2008 catalog, we could see it in the Plus version in black, which is number 1.6705.3. But it could also come in red, which would be 1.6705. In other words, you understand that change from 3 to 5 are the Plus versions that include the pen and the pin. Now, let's go with the truly special editions. And the first one is the one I showed from 2013, which is the Carl Elsener Damascus, which has the identifier number 1.6705. 1.670 low, 671 dead. To this, we must add the Victorinox Swiss Spirit Edition from 2020, which has the identifier number, where the mitrailleur 1.67 720. That is, if it's 05, it will be plus. And then there would be 5 Mexican versions. That the 2021 collection, which has 4, would be the Talavera. The Talavera motif, which is 1.670, 3.7 time 1. The Olanala, which is 1.670, 3.2. Briche, which is 1.670, 0.8. And the Hugo is 1.670, 3.2. And the last one would also be Mexican and is from the year 2022, which is the Midnight Explorer. The Midnight Explorer, which is 1.670, 0.942. As I was saying, the Explorer is currently my EDC and also my girlfriend's, who chose the Explorer. I would like to know how many use the Victorinox Explorer as an EDC. And to the collectors, I would like to ask, which is the edition that catches your attention the most out of all these special ones? Nice. Now, if you want to see the compact version of the Victorinox Explorer, I advise you to watch this video.